Welcome back, Spurs fans, to the Hepler Football Channel. Today we're doing our preview ponderings of the Wolverhampton's Tottenham Hotspurs match coming up on Sunday. Been a crazy week. Opening weekend, we beat Man City in pretty convincing fashion. So, after the first match of the season, we were feeling pretty good about ourselves, probably. And then we go off to Europa Conference League and we do what we do. we fall on our face. And but we're gonna talk about the upcoming match with Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Premier League. If you haven't done it yet, please subscribe. Quite a few of the viewers of these videos are unsubscribed, so I'd definitely appreciate it if you support the channel and help grow the community here. If you have thoughts and comments about the upcoming match, anything I say, let's put that down in the comments, and then let's hit that like button. Generate some good positive algorithms for the YouTube. But with that being said, we're going to move into talking about this upcoming match. So we have Spurs sitting in 10th place after their victory over Man City, and we're only really in 10th due to goal differential. Top 10 teams all won, so no draws last week in the Premier League, which is kind of unusual. So we're sitting there in 10th. The Wolves are sitting in 14th. They've lost one, we've won one. So that's really the difference right now. This is also Nuno's old team that he was coaching the past 4 years. In this current transfer window, Spurs have only spent about $25 to $30 million, and really all of that was on Kiel. Romero is a loan with the option to buy. Same thing with Golini. So really everyone we brought in hasn't cost us any money except for Kiel. And then you got Wolves. They spent about $25, $30 million in this window also. So really about the same in what we've spent to bring people in. I would say they've probably lost a few more players than we have in this off season. Players that they probably utilized, but that's not us. As far as injuries, they've got a handful of injuries that they've got to worry about. For us, Romero picked up a little knock in the midweek match against Ferreira. So CCV, he's got an injury, but I really don't count him as a first team player anyway. So beyond that, we should be relatively healthy across the board for this match and have our full complement available. For me, the real keys are going to be in the midfield and then also our center backs. We'll talk more about the actual lineup that I think Nuno's going to do in our predicted ponderings, but those are the two key aspects I think that we got to focus on in being successful. Very much similar to what we did against Man City. In the last 5 matches in the Premier League against the Wolves, we've gone 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. So they're definitely a team that we struggle against typically, that they're a solid team. You can't take them for granted. They do have quality players in the midfield and the forward position specifically. So they're not a team you can take lightly. And we're walking into their home this weekend. So they're definitely going to be amped up. First home game for them. First time they've had fans back in the stands since this pandemic stuff started off. So definitely going to be an energetic atmosphere on their behalf. So we got a lot of things to overcome. It's not going to be quite as easy as what the Man City match was. And a lot of that I think has to do with the way that Wolves are going to probably set up. They typically run a 3-4-3 or a 3 at the back system, and they do pretty good that way. They've got Jimenez back from his significant head injury. I did not get to see the first match that they played against Leicester City, but Jimenez is a quality center forward. He's a legitimate center forward and someone you can't take lightly. So one of my fears right now is that Nuno's probably not going to change up the squad that played against Man City much. And that means Dyer and Sanchez are going to be in the middle. And unless we do the same thing that we did against Man City, which means we're going to basically compress the midfield and allow things to happen on the exterior and not allow them to push that ball up through the middle and allow the center forward to be an impact. Of course, Man City didn't have a true center forward. The Torres, he's kind of a false nine or a winger that kind of can play in there. He just didn't have a presence up front. And a lot of that had to do with what our midfield did. And defending from the front, very narrow, and pushing everything wide. And we're going to have to do that again, because I don't believe, no matter how well Sanchez and Dyer did in the Man City match, I credit a lot of that to the midfield and the forwards not allowing things to flow through that middle, where they could attack our weak point, which is our center backs. I mean, it has to be argued, one of our greatest weak points is our center backs, bar none. And we did everything we did to protect them against Man City. And it worked out. And it worked out great. We've got to have that same kind of mindset, especially going up against a solid center forward. Then you also got Traore, who is a beast out there. If Traore was going up against Sanchez, he would just run him right over. And he's done it in previous matches against when they've played. So it's not like there's no track record of what happens when Traore or Jimenez gets out there and works against Dyer or Sanchez or the both. So it is a concern. We're going to have to protect them significantly. And so that means running what I would say we should do is run the same thing we did against Man City. Not worry about possession, protect that back line, maintain solidarity within that back line and midfield, and then take our opportunities when we can. Because we did have a number of opportunities against Man City. Yeah, we pulled one goal, but we probably could have had two, pretty easily 2 goals on a number of occasions there. So, it's not like we didn't have chances and opportunities. So, and I think if we run the same front three, we probably will have, similar results as far as opportunities and options to get out and get after it a little bit. But, so that's one of my concerns. My other concern is the midfield. For whatever reason, if you break it down person by person, I'd say the Wolves probably have a more technical and better midfield than we do. Now, we probably have a little better as far as defensively within the midfield when you consider Højbjerg, Skip plays again. Dele was kind of ineffective in my opinion, but I mean, we've got a ton of midfielders, but really what options do we have that are good? What quality options at this point do we have at our disposal? I mean, Ndombele has not been in a match yet. And they're saying he's not available for this Sunday. So, that even limits our options even more. Lo Celso was not great on the midweek match. But Dele was not good. I don't think he wasn't bad, but he wasn't good against Man City. He ran the most yardage of any Spurs player in that match, yet accomplished the least. Lo Celso, who came on in the 67th minute, had almost as many touches as Dele in Dele's full-time match. I mean, he was there. He was in the match the whole time. And Lo Celso, in just his 15, 20 minutes of play, almost had as many touches and on the ball and workings with the rest of his teammates. So that tells you how uninvolved Dele was in the match. That he played the full time and, barely outdid Lo Celso in engagements. But I think this is going to be a very dangerous match for us. It's going to come down to the midfield, specifically our midfield, how well they can protect that back line. It's going to come down to how Nuno sets this thing up. I think if he tries to go 3 at the back, that's going to just allow Traore and Jimenez just to run right over us. I don't think a 3 at the back is going to work well for us. We need to stay packed in that 4-3-3, kind of like in that setup he had against Man City. Keep it packed, keep it tight, and just not give up anything that's easy. Man City, they did have a few opportunities, but they had to work for every inch that they got. And that's what we got to make the Wolves do on Sunday. Otherwise, I don't think this is going to be a good outcome for us. The thing also is, will Kane play? I mean, there's new rumors. This is Friday, saying that there's a good chance he'll be not in the starting lineup, but at least on the bench as an option. And, that's great. I mean, if he's an option, great. So if we need some help out there, we can throw him out there. But is that really something that's going to happen? Who knows? No one knows. I don't think even Nuno knows at this point. And so, or even Kane. But me personally, if he got in there and played, I would like to see, if Bergwijn's there, I'd prefer to see Bergwijn in there other than Dele. I know Bergwijn's more of a winger, but he will track back and help. While Dele did help out on the defense a little bit, he was very late on a number of occasions in that match against Man City, getting in position, helping out, providing support, and not just helping back, but going forward. He was very late on a lot of moving the ball forward, advancing the ball forward. He was lagging behind a lot. And so I don't exactly understand how he came up with so many yards that he covered, but that's what they say he did. So, but I would almost rather see Bergwijn in that midfield position, although he's not truly an 8, but neither is Dele. Neither of them are 8s. I mean, if Lo Celso was in better form, which I really struggle with what's going on with Lo Celso at the Spurs, because he seems to struggle with whatever he's being asked to do at the Spurs versus what he does with Argentina. Because during the summer with Argentina, he was a force. He helped Argentina lift that cup against Brazil during the summer competition. And he was good. He was active. He was engaged. He was attacking. It's like something switches, or we're asking something completely out of character for him to do with Spurs. And maybe part of it is just, the players around him. I mean, Argentina's got a pretty loaded team. I mean, one of the greatest players of all time, Messi, playing there. But still, just the way everything moves and flows for him at Spurs just seems to be a fight. It seems like a struggle. It's not as fluid as it should be. And maybe that's just because he hasn't worked with the team a lot. He came back from, had a short preseason and such, since they went all the way to the final in the Copa. But I think he's one that would be better suited in there other than Dele Alli. But right now, you can't say there's a good midfield options other than Højbjerg right now. Even Skip, rough start to the match against Man City, kind of worked through it. At the end, there were a couple instances where he was a little shaky, but, still, he's young. First Premier League match, get it. Young guy, just getting out there. But we need more. Definitely need more in that midfield. And I don't know. So, ponder upon this. Is this match going to let us know exactly what Nuno's going to do going forward? I mean, the options are really not that dissimilar from what we had the past year and a half. So what's Nuno going to do differently that Jose and Poch wasn't doing? Is it going to be tactics? Is it going to be players? Is it going to be a combination of that? I will say one thing they do look is fit compared to when Jose had the team. They looked like they could go the full time against Man City. They didn't get tired. They didn't look fatigued. So he's definitely working them on the physical side. And that's good. We need that because we just don't have the depth for this team to be able to pull people in off the bench to keep that quality up, keep the quality of play. And so those that can do the job are the ones that need to be out there. So let me know what you all think. please subscribe, support the channel. I personally think, I don't think we're going to lose. I think this is more of a draw. If we do win, I think it's going to be a 2-1 win. I don't think we'll have a clean sheet, especially not knowing exactly how Nuno's going to set this up. If he goes with the same lineup he did against Man City, I think we have a decent chance. If we play the same way, protect the center backs the same way, I think we have a decent chance of maybe pitching a shutout, only giving up one at most. If we go into a 3-back formation or something like that, where there's not as much protection for the back line, and the midfield is not protecting them like we were against Man City, our best hope, I think, is a tie, or it could even be worse. But I think this is pushing towards a tie. But I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1. Be optimistic here. You know, got our first team back out there, and let's see if we can build off of this. But let me know what you all think, and come on, you Spurs.